Oh, why am I holding the questions?
I don't know. Give me.
Oh, sorry.
My job.
Did you notice that one commenter? Look, it looks like, no, open it up again. I left his avatar in there because it looks like one of the old ones from StarTrek.com.
Yes.
And that's why I left it there, because I wanted to ask you. It's like, is this guy, was he one of them?
I don't.
From StarTrek.com?
No.
Sabrina and I met on StarTrek.com because I thought that the new television show Enterprise was great. And I was right. It's still great.
I thought that the emojis were cute. That's why I started.
Yep, it's true. It's true.
Oh, we have a new location.
What, the garage?
Yeah, we're talking to them.
Oh, right. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, so anyway, this is the garage that we've been working on. She's been watching me do this. You should have seen this when I started. This whole place, none of these walls were finished. They were just the 2x4s and the outside surface of the house. And this place was so dusty and drafty and nasty. Like, it was just nasty. These shelves, this wood, this is all old wood, old. Like, this is like really fine old grain pine. I don't even know how old it is. But it was all these shelves that were over there. The guy had the original owner of this house in the early 1970s, went down to the hardware store and probably got the cheapest possible pine, which today would carry a massive premium because it's so beautiful and tight. But anyway, so the shelves were really weird and they didn't make any sense. They were sort of put up strangely, but I wanted to keep the wood. So I deconstructed all the shelves, which ran all the way from the front to the back, got the boards, cleaned them up, and without adding any extra holes as much as possible, using the original screw holes, screwed everything to the wall. And there it is. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of my wall.
I know you are.
I love my wall. Anyway, what's going on?
Nothing. I'm just waiting to move forward. It's weird having the camera so far away.
Kind of nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean...
Well, we get to be comfortable. That's
you get to be comfortable. I get to relax, which means I look more like Hemingway.
I need to get you that pipe.
I do. I need to get or make that pipe. I really am kind of approaching Hemingway-looking status. I mean, but I don't drink, so that won't work. By the way, folks, I'm only tooting my own horn. The 8th of August, it was 15 years of sobriety for me. So I'm happy about that. I didn't even remember. Facebook has to tell me. If somebody asked me, I would have thought 12 years or something. So I didn't know. I didn't know anymore. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you want to stay out here and fry, or do you want to go inside and be normal?
Are you going to sweat to death?
Eventually. The longer we stay out here, I'll start dripping. But I mean, we can start out here, and if things get nasty, we can always go in.
All right, well, it's up to you.
Oh, I don't care. I'm in fine mood.
Right.
Fine shape. Everything's cool.
Okay, so Mars.
Mars?
Oh, reiterate what the question was.
What's the gentleman's name?
Wim?
Wim.
Wim?
Yeah, just like the German film director Wim Wenders, because in German, W is a V. It's just one of those things. Any case, you might remember a couple weeks ago, I posed a question out of the blue, which is whether there was higher atmospheric pressure on the canyon, the huge deep canyon that runs across the face of Mars, because even though Mars is only 1% of the atmosphere, you'd figure that if you're adding 5 or 6 kilometers or more of depth, then maybe some of that atmosphere would flow in. So he's got an answer for us. But here's my next question: if one were able to, could one artificially, basically, if you dumped actual atmosphere into that canyon, would it stay there, or would it all just instantly blow away? What if you had like 25 trucks, full of air you could pull up, and just, with the air hoses and just fill up the canyon, because, American know-how, we can do it. But if that would actually work, I'm sure it's a stupid question, but if we had the technology, how much atmosphere would we have to pump into the canyon to make it close to habitable for humans? And at the end of that process, would we have given the entire planet a new atmosphere?
I don't know.
I'm asking them.
Oh.
I'm not a plantologist.
No, I was going to say I'm not an atmospherologist.
I'm not even an aerologist or a truckologist. It's true. Or a depthologist or a metricologist. I can try, but I'm not very good.
It's a family joke because say you would ask me something about something that I didn't know about, and I'd be like, I don't know, I'm not a blankologist.
I'm not a rockologist.
Nope. Even if we know what the actual term is.
Right, like I wouldn't even call myself a woodologist, and I worked with wood a lot. Any case, okay,
Okay,
we're
Mark.
wasting everybody's time. She's, if you don't mind, can you read the answer for all the nice people?
Yes, I'm going to.
Excellent.
Hi, about Mars and air pressure. Air pressure on Mars, 5 millibar, I think, maybe tops less than 1% of the Earth's value on the surface down in Valles Marineris.
That's the name of the canyon.
I know, but I don't know how to pronounce it. 7 kilometers deep indeed, slightly more, but keep your spacesuit on. By the barometric formula, 1 bar is roughly the atmospheric pressure on Earth at an altitude of 111 meters at 15 degrees Celsius. 1 bar equals 1,000 millibars. So if you go outside on Earth where you live, you will be at 1 bar with...
Oh, why am I holding the questions?
I don't know. Give me.
Oh, sorry.
My job.
Did you notice that one commenter? Look, it looks like no. Open it up again. I left his avatar in there because it looks like one of the old ones from Star Trek.com.
Yes.
And that's why I left it there because I wanted to ask you. It's like, is this guy? Was he one of them?
I don't.
From Star Trek.com?
No.
Sabrina and I met on Star Trek.com because I thought that the new television show Enterprise was great. And I was right. It's still great.
I thought that the emojis were cute. That's why I started.
Yep, it's true. It's true.
Oh, we have a new location.
What, the garage?
Yeah, we're talking to them.
Oh, right. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, so anyway, this is the garage that we've been working on. She's been watching me do this. You should have seen this when I started. This whole place, none of these walls were finished. They were just the 2x4s and the outside surface of the house. And this place was so dusty and drafty and nasty. Like, it was just nasty. This wood, this is all old wood, like this is like really fine old grain pine. I don't even know how old it is. But it was all these shelves that were over there. The guy had the original owner of this house in the early 1970s, went down to the hardware store and probably got the cheapest possible pine, which today would carry a massive premium because it's so beautiful and tight. But anyway, the shelves were really weird and they didn't make any sense. They were sort of put up strangely, but I wanted to keep the wood. So I deconstructed all the shelves, which ran all the way from the front to the back, got the boards, cleaned them up, and without adding any extra holes as much as possible, using the original screw holes, screwed everything to the wall. And there it is. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of my wall.
I know you are.
I love my wall. Anyway, what's going on?
Nothing. I'm just waiting to move forward. It's weird having the camera so far away.
Kind of nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean...
Well, we get to be comfortable. That's
you get to be comfortable. I get to relax, which means I look more like Hemingway.
We need to get you that pipe.
I do. I need to get or make that pipe. I really am kind of approaching Hemingway-looking status. I mean, but I don't drink, so that won't work. By the way, folks, I'm only tooting my own horn. The 8th of August, it was 15 years of sobriety for me. So I'm happy about that. I didn't even remember. Facebook has to tell me. If somebody asked me, I would have thought 12 years or something. So I didn't know. I didn't know anymore.
What?
There you go. Okay, so do you want to stay out here and fry, or do you want to go inside and be normal?
Are you going to sweat to death?
Eventually. The longer we stay out here, I'll start dripping. But I mean, we can start out here, and if things get nasty, we can always go in.
Alright, well, it's up to you.
I don't care. I'm in fine mood. Fine shape. Everything's cool.
Okay, so Mars.
Mars!
Oh, reiterate what the question was.
What's the gentleman's name?
Wim?
Wim.
Wim?
Yeah, just like the German film director Wim Wenders, because in German, W is a V. It's just one of those things. Any case, you might remember a couple weeks ago, I posed a question out of the blue, which is whether there was higher atmospheric pressure on the canyon, the huge deep canyon that runs across the face of Mars, because even though Mars is only 1% of the atmosphere, you'd figure that if you're adding 5 or 6 kilometers or more of depth, then maybe some of that atmosphere would flow in. So he's got an answer for us. But here's my next question. If one were able to, could one artificially, basically if you dumped actual atmosphere into that canyon, would it stay there? Or would it all just instantly blow away? What if you had like 25 trucks, full of air you could pull up, and just, with the air hoses and just fill up the canyon, because, American know-how, we can do it. But if that would actually work. I'm sure it's a stupid question, but we have the technology. How much atmosphere would we have to pump into the canyon to make it close to habitable for humans? And at the end of that process, would we have given the entire planet a new atmosphere?
I don't know.
I'm asking them.
Oh.
I'm not a plantologist.
Nope. I was going to say I'm not an atmospherologist.
I'm not even an aerologist or a truckologist. It's true. Or a depthologist or a metricologist. I can try, but I'm not very good.
It's a family joke, because say you would ask me something about something that I didn't know about, and I'd be like, I don't know, I'm not a blankologist.
I'm not a rockologist.
Nope. Even if we know what the actual term is.
Right, like I wouldn't even call myself a woodologist, and I worked with wood a lot. Any case, okay, we're
Mark.
wasting everybody's time. She's, if you don't mind, can you read the answer for all the nice people?
Yes, I'm going to.
Excellent.
Hi, about Mars and air pressure. Air pressure on Mars, 5 millibar, I think, maybe tops less than 1% of the Earth's value on the surface, down in Valles Marineris.
That's the name of the canyon.
I know, but I don't know how to pronounce it. 7 kilometers deep indeed, slightly more, but keep your spacesuit on. By the barometric formula, 1 bar is roughly the atmospheric pressure on Earth at an altitude of 111 meters at 15 degrees Celsius. 1 bar equals 1,000 millibars. So if you go outside on Earth where you live, you will be at 1 bar without the beers, or 1,000 millibars.
Yep. I get it. Ha 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 ha. Get it, people? Beers, bar, beers.
Caliber. So what do you call it when the battery runs out? Excalibur?
Oh, did you move on to a new question?
No, I didn't.
Did I screw up when I was typing it? I might have screwed up.
You were like...
everybody's running around and talking to me and poking me, and all this other nonsense is going on. You should be grateful I have both my legs through each individual leg hole. Okay, so what am I saying? I was saying something.
I'm really hot. I want to go in.
You want to go in? You're really hot?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. I understand. So, folks, you've seen it. We've talked about Mars, and this is wood. So, we're going inside. Okay, so we're inside.
It's too hot out there.
It's just too much. It's too much. Because, well, not only is it hot here, but I did such an excellent job, totally weatherproofing and soundproofing that thing by accident, that it actually can kind of retain heat. I need to put in an exhaust fan.
Anyway. Back to Mars.
We're going to Mars. Wait, what's the actual line?
He says, we're going to Mars, man. Let's go to Mars.
Let's go to Mars, man.
Kudos to anybody that knows what the hell we're talking about.
Yep. Anybody that can name that one gets respect from us. So what's up?
Oh, sorry.
I don't care.
Clocks on Mars. The nerds back at JPL had watches made running on Mars time, about 24-hour plus 39 minutes per day. Maybe interesting to find out more about these. They used them too. They tried doing Mars days as they controlled the landers, etc. A convention used by spacecraft landers projects to date has been enumerate local solar time using a 24-hour Mars clock on which the hours, minutes, and seconds are 2.75% longer than their standard Earth durations.
Well, no, don't worry. No, we get it. I think
I appreciate your work.
the in-depth explanation.
I really appreciate it. It's just it wasn't my question, and I'm kind of spacing out.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, I completely get it, and that would be very interesting. You know, humans don't like having their clocks messed with like that. I mean, we evolved on this planet. We never lived on this planet at a time when, you know, the orbit was, or the spin or anything was much different than it is right now. Though I would have liked to have seen the moon in dinosaur times because it was so much closer to the Earth. And the moon we had last night, because the Perseid meteor showers are rolling. And is it a full or near full?
It was a harvest moon.
A harvest moon.
It was a full.
It was a harvest moon, and there were, you know, just, it was like there's, you know, there were clouds on the horizon, and the moon was like, boom. It's really awesome. So that's the name of that's the title of the video that the following questions come from. So
we have a new system.
This is one of the. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say what it was, but what?
Okay, go for it.
Well, it's with the Seiko SSK 003 GMT for our breakdown.
Exactly correct. What I was talking about was the new system of sorting. I'm going to sort from here on out. I'm sorting the questions by video. What's your watch say? It's exactly the same as mine. No, that's correct. No, that's right. That's good. Excellent. All right.
I keep having to read what I'm doing.
Well,
it doesn't say. I didn't tell you who it was from.
Oh, it's Paduan, as in somebody from Padua, which is a name I've always liked. A place name I always thought was good. Padua. Jesus Christ, it's like there was a freaking circus going by. Look at that. That was a quad family bicycle. It's like both parents and their kids were like this bicycle contraption going down the street. So, this gentleman, I'm assuming he's a gentleman, sorry to assume your gender, this individual is a Paduan, and they say, wearing the meat can orange and loving it. It is well within tolerances so far, but no oven cleaning. Well, you know, I don't know what I did, but it settled down, so. I got the black one too. So cool to see the breakdown. Thank you. You're very welcome. Next one, Jerome Triplet. 2 questions. 1, did you get your Trek avatar from StarTrek.com, or are you just a general Trekkie? Because if you were like old school from back in the old days, you might know who we were if we tell you our screen names. In any case, Jerome Triplet, have you seen the bridge? I ain't seen the bridge. And that's another one for you folks. All right?
Oh, God, I almost lost my...
Jeff 117. It has been ages since we've seen you tear down a movement. Thank you for letting us see this. It's just been scrambling and scrambling and scrambling and scrambling, and I never get my feet underneath me. It's like I never, everything is on this, like I always feel like I'm under this, you know, 3 deadlines behind kind of thing, and they're just, I don't know, I think I've made the videos too big a thing in my head, and so it's more intimidating than it should be. I am going to be going back to the old system of how I took jobs, if you want to call it a system, which it wasn't, which is basically taking in jobs when I feel like it, or watches that I think might be fun, but I'm going to be trying to not do stuff, and I'm not going to do this whole like separate like evaluation video, sending it to the customer, waiting for them to get back to me, having this long back and forth discussion. What I'm going to do is the old days, which is that a watch comes here because I've said yes for some reason. It gets here. I have an evaluation day. I open the jobs. I'm not going to do what I did last time that ended up with me having 200 jobs. But then I'll do the evaluation, and I'm assuming that since the watch is here for repair, we are repairing it.
Yeah.
It will come. I will start it. There won't be any deposits, none of that stuff. The watch will come. I'll get to it, and then I'll do the start of the evaluation, say what it is, and then I'm off. I'm off to the races. So if you send a watch to us here, we are going to assume that you want it done. If there's something really crazy or really weird or out of place that's going to really bump up the expected price, because I'm still going to give base rate estimates, but if there's something big, I'll contact the customer and be like, there's something big, what do you want to do? Other than that, when they come here, I'm on it. I don't know, that's it. I mean, we have to use the mailing list, though. I mean, we told everybody, maybe we should do one drawing for the mailing list. Whatever. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
From, did I say this? No, you said that one. Okay. Patrick O. Wow, I am impressed with the quality and design of this new movement. However, not so much with the lubrication application. If I didn't already have too many watches, this would be in my collection. Thank you so much for documenting this breakdown. Take care.
One thing I've really been wondering, it's apparently they have robotic lubrication, which makes sense. They've been robotizing their production since 1969 or 1970. Of course, they're going to have automatic lubrication. How come they never used to have problems, and then all of a sudden they started having all these problems with lubrication? Why was that? Does anybody know? Has anybody seen one of these automatic lubrication movements, like things that you get? Has anybody gone on a tour of the Seiko factory and seen anything about that? I'm very interested, all of a sudden, to understand Seiko's production methods more. And I would really, at some point, like for us to get on an airplane and go see Japan, just so I can go in and I can visit their factory, and I can see what they're doing, and I can see what they're up to.
You're gonna go yell at them?
I'm not gonna yell at anybody. I would like to go there and inspect their facility.
I love how serious you are, like, you'll go in there.
Oh,
now,
I would.
Let me tell you.
Oh, God, walk right past the front gate. There'd be some Japanese guard talking to me in the lobby, the foyer of Seiko, and I would gently move him to one side, continue to the main elevators. Up I'd go, find the most important looking office and enter it. If there's someone in there, I'll speak with them. If there's no one in there, I will sit at the desk.
Wow. Silly.
Okay.
Did I read that one?
What do I know?
This one, did I read that? I don't know where I left off.
Neither do I.
Uh,
Oh, good, we are recording. That would have been awesome, wouldn't it?
This is the most spastic video ever.
I'm looking at my face and like, I'm almost to the point I could pull off a credible Santa Claus. What's up? Wait, you don't want to be seen? What are you doing? Okay, we're going to do wrist check this way because I'm tired of setting up a bunch of different crap. And
Yeah, some people, they want to, like, take super time to, edit and stuff, but we have other stuff we'd rather do. So, look, we didn't even move.
we didn't even move.
Whoa,
So what you wearing there? Baby G?
Yes.
Just like Baby Spice?
Well, this is, like, super early 2000s millennial girl watch, so there you go.
I'm so pleased that you got that and that you like it. She was kind of like, I really want this thing, but it's a G-Shock. But, it's like, it's awesome. G-Shocks are great. I went through, I cleaned the whole case. I put all new seals in it.
Where am I? There I am. Is it in focus? Because if
No,
I press
right
the
there.
button,
Go for it.
can they see it?
I don't know, maybe. Is it supposed to glow?
No, it's supposed to have
Oh,
the
it does.
dancing guy.
Oh, the dancing guy. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they can see it. And I am wearing the Seiko 7548 7000 with a star on it. This is the golden tuna. This is the golden tuna. This is it. This is the JDM version of the titanium and ceramic covered steel bezel 600 meter golden tuna. It's a titanium case, has this gold color because everything is plated with titanium nitride. These are where it's at. Screw down crown. It's one of the most. I think it's one of Seiko's most beautiful divers. Especially the dial, not just the proportion, like the smaller dial and the depth of the dial itself, but the you can't really see it, but the loom on the dial was done by hand. Every single one of these watches is unique.
I have to go get the door.
You do? Okay, well, that's about it. I think we're done with watches. Okay, I think we've got ourselves, off the giggles.
Okay.
Onward and upward.
Watch crazy. Spencer, my SBSC 003 arrived 2 weeks ago from Tokyo, and I was so excited until I wound it up, set the time, and wore it for the day. I discovered it was losing about a minute a day, confirmed on my time grapher, and more importantly, the blue GMT hour hand was off by 2 to 3 degrees.
Really?
It has since been returned to Tokyo for warranty repair by Seiko Japan.
By Seiko Japan, warranty repair. You say you popped it on a time grapher. What were the numbers? I'd be very curious, because I know the numbers of the two I have here. I know roughly where they were, which is like in the 250s, lower for the blue, 260s, 270s for the orange, with about an average of about 1.0 beat error for both. If you one was better, one was worse. So if you have time, let me know what those numbers are, if you remember what they are.
Okay, now we're talking about the SSK 003 GMT case disassembly. Sidewalk Astronomer Netherlands. I don't want to complain about the heat here, but two hobbits just came by and threw a ring into our living room. Now I laughed. I genuinely was...
I know, she did.
I thought it was funny.
That's funny. You don't want hobbits to come by because they'll eat everything. Plus they're little. God, Rocket would just run them over.
Yes.
It's not like hobbits aren't familiar with dogs. Well, don't you remember? Oh, what was his name? The old farmer who was growing mushrooms. Mm-hmm. He had a whole bunch of dogs.
Yes.
His name's going to come to me at like 3 a.m.
Well, don't wake me up when it does.
I have to.
That's a good way to get whacked.
Oh, it's just like on Rick and Morty when the people are arguing at the table, and then because they're all bang and they're yelling at each other, bonking on the table, and then he bonks on the table and goes, Willem Dafoe. That's the name I was trying to remember earlier.
Anyway, from Saul Brook. I found this way more enjoyable than I think it had any right to be.
It's a lot of fun. It's really interesting finding a mystery. And then finding that the answer to the mystery is so simple.
Wait, what was the mystery?
Okay, so the GMT movements, they've added a hand.
Uh-huh.
That makes the hand stack higher. You've got to have room for those hands. They can't be too close, otherwise they'll start interfering with each other.
Uh-huh.
So you make the whole hand stack bigger. You've got the bottom 24-hour hand, and you have to make the hour wheel taller, and you have to make the cannon pinion taller, and you have to make the pinion of the fourth wheel taller, so the whole hand stack is taller, which means the crystal has to be higher. So that's the way it works. How Seiko dealt with it, they used the same crystal. They just needed to get the thing up. Instead of redesigning anything, all they did is they took the chapter ring, like these little, that mm-hmm. angled ring with the, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, and they made it taller. They made the chapter ring taller, which pushed the crystal up. So what they did is, instead of having the full height black nylon gasket that would normally go up the entire flat sides of that crystal, they made a little thinner, exactly as much as the chapter ring was higher. So you were trading height from the chapter ring and the gasket, and everything else is the same.
That's a surprisingly simple solution.
You're right. And I was kind of blown away that the design was so simple and effective and smart. Because they dropped the water resistance to 100 meters. It doesn't need that much, contact patch on that crystal. Having it be just a little bit lower, they thought that was okay.
That's very interesting.
I was thinking, if I did go and I put that GMT I still need to reassemble it. I'm always scrambling. I'm not even sure what. If it wasn't for doing mail call, I literally wouldn't know what day it was. What was I talking about?
I forgot.
So did I.
Oh, we were talking about the chapter ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's, in any case, the one thing I do want to try, because it's a 32 millimeter crystal that goes in there, rather than 31.5. So 31.5 is the standard SKX crystal. 32 is both the new, larger crystal size for the current ones, and it's also the old size for the older divers, the 6309s, the first gen 7002s, 6105s, all that stuff. Which means, even with, like, if I have like a 60, like a Type 3, which is a double dome, if I took a Type 3, the sidewalls on those are, you know, they're exactly, pretty much, I'm not saying they're exactly the same because I don't have them side by side, but I'd be shocked if they were really much different. And that means I could put, you know, build it into an SKX case, use the lower, the thinner thing and a higher chapter ring or a spacer ring underneath on top of the standard chapter ring to bring it up, and then try double dome, try a different crystal, see how it works. Put a high top on it. I certainly could. It'd be fun.
Slim. New bench setup looks good. The color of the mat makes the watches pop. At least it does to me.
Yeah, that's the self-healing crafting mat, which is good for all of your crafting needs. And you know what? Crafting is fun. We all craft. We craft like maniacs. We've been crafting more and more. That's one of the best things to come out of COVID for us, is because we were stuck in the house all the time. I started building the garage, and everybody started crafting and doing stuff and figuring out how to bake. And
like
she
this.
did. Yeah.
I made this.
Stand up and show them your nice shirt.
Fall over.
Don't fall over.
There.
Yeah. See, you got to show them. Yeah, that's nice. She did that herself. Good job.
I got a tie-dye kit to do with the kids.
No, but it's fun. It's fun. And we're all crafting, working on guitars, and Willow and I are going to build a wooden clock kit together. And Sebastian and I are looking at rocks and finding ammonites, and Sabrina's checking out and doing all the rocks with us, and just working on different stuff. Working on fidget stuff, because we all have ADHD, all of us. Every single one.
Yep.
So she started doing woodwork, which is awesome. And she's gotten back into her sewing and doing more complex work, and she's turning out great material.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, rock on.
Ernesto Camaro, thank you for doing this. This new movement is a boon for micro brands and watch tinkers like myself. Also, Big Bertha, LOL.
Yeah, the watch movement, it is a boom. And again, I'm impressed with the movement. They really only changed things that needed to be changed to make it a GMT. The way they executed the GMT, which is just like the old Seiko 5619s, is masterful. The piece itself, the double clicking wheel, it's a single component made out of stamped cut spring steel. So there's, just as with the magic levers, which is a stamped V piece, you stamp it and you're done. So with that thing, same deal. You stamp the subcomponent, put it together, and you're done. It's beautifully made. And so yeah, I'm as I said, shockingly, I was not expecting to be impressed, and I am. Not that me being impressed means anything. It just means
Well, you're gonna go in and take over Seiko, whether anybody likes it or not. So I guess.
No, all I was going to say, the only reason I mentioned that is it turns out, therefore, that I was wrong, and I was able to talk about being right, which is nice. Because, you know, what's really the point of being wrong if you can't be right later?
It's true.
And you can't be right until you know what you're talking about, or you've done the thing, or whatever.
Brad Warren, does the SSK bracelet and solid end links fit the SKX without any modification?
Yep. Any bracelet for any of the Seiko Slim Case divers, 6309, 7290, the 7548, 7000, and all those, the 7C43, 7010s, and 7000s, same thing. 7002s, same thing, exactly the same. It'll drop right on all the SKXs. 22 millimeters in that slim case style, it'll go right on.
Cool. And he has a request. Please could you compare the bezel rings and the O-ring arrangement for SSK friction fit versus SKX click setup? Hope that can be transferred across to SSK or SKX case, sorry.
Yeah, no, those are all the same. It uses, I haven't confirmed that the rotating ring for the SSKs, which is smooth turning, the rotating ring gasket should still be the same. It's 0C3660 something or other and some stuff. But I think those are the same. And actually, I do show the rotating ring. And so you can see the underneath of it. The main difference being is that it doesn't have any of the cutouts. Well, hell, it's right over there. Ow. Honey, I just pinched myself.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I know it sucks. What are you going to do? It's one of the things that happen. So anyway, here is the 003 bezel. Because I've been waiting for like a week and a half to reassemble a watch that's totally cleaned and ready to go. Because I'm always racing and panicking. Anyway, there is the inside. You'll note that there's no cutouts for the clicking. It looks to me it's a standard rotating ring gasket. It's going to be for a 32 millimeter one though, so it's not going to be for like an SKX 31.5. This again is for a 32 movement. 32 millimeter crystal, I mean. So it's the same thickness as the SKX, but it's going to be a little larger. So it's not going to transfer over. It's a separate part. It's a separate type of gasket for 32, not 31.5. Alrighty then.
Okay, now about the SSK 005 week 2 on the wrist.
Oh, okay, this is a new video. Week 2 on the wrist.
Polly T, I missed the restoration videos. Are you still restoring Seikos but just not making the videos?
I'm in total complete, I'm not fully organized. We had this last 6 months, 7 months, last year has been pretty tumultuous for us. Not like any big events or anything. It's just we're working on a whole bunch of different stuff. And so it's been a very busy and tumultuous year. As such, I'm completely out of my old rhythms. I used to have a good rhythm going because I come down in the morning, I look at my job logs, I grab the next job, I set up the camera, and I go for it. And that's what I'm going for. So now, because it's this whole system where I have to do evaluation videos and then send them to the customers and then wait for the customers to get back to me, and then there might be some changes, and I'm so busy otherwise that it's been hard for me to force myself to make the amount of time needed for a recorded restoration, because it doubles the time, triples the time, easy. It adds so much time to make these videos. And we don't get, I mean, it supports the business, but the videos themselves don't produce any revenue for us, nothing. So going forward, I think I'm definitely going to do, obviously I'm going to do watch restorations. I think what I'm going to do is to make things easier for me. I'm going to have 2 levels and also more affordable for people. Basically, I can do the old style video for a restoration. That's pretty quick. It's quick. It's just like I look at the watch overview, I check the inside real quick, then I go for it. But that's not filmed. If I find something funky, I will film that so you can see it. And then I have a finish. Here it is. Isn't that awesome? And those are usually about 5 minutes videos, and I can do those pretty easily. And I think that can be pretty much a standard offering, with the base rate. So you can pay for a base rates restoration, you get that video. If you want the real deal, if you want the full restoration video, all the stuff, because of the fact that it adds so much time for me, that's going to be a sort of a premium upgrade edition. If you really want to see the whole process, I can certainly do that, but I've got to cover the time, the labor that it's going to take for me to do all of that stuff. because I simply don't have enough time to do all the things I want to do. So that's the way going forward. There's going to be 2 tiers. You can either have just the base video, intro showing the thing, anything weird that I find in the middle if necessary, and then here's your watch, it's done, cool. Or you can add on as a separate item, checkout item for the full video, and we'll go from there. I think that's going to be workable.
Yep.
If I can find ways to ease my workload, it makes it better for everybody.
Okay. Spinach fish. Are the 7C46 7009 versions of the golden tuna worth getting? I found one made on my birth year and month, or are the 7548 like yours a better option?
No. I mean, the quality of them is fantastic. When Seiko rolled out the 7C series, they were replacing the 754Xs, 7549, 7548, blah, blah, blah. Great movements. But perhaps at the time that the 7Cs came out, the difference in technology between the time when, the 754s were invented, which was like 1974, 1975, versus the 7C, which was designed and eventually begun to be produced in extremely late 1985, 10 years later, more than 10 years later. And I personally believe that, I used to think about, I used to sort of, not mentally complain, but I kind of at the 7Cs because they weren't a 754. But the thing is, because they didn't have a variable trimmer specifically, so I was worried about maintaining accuracy. The 7C only has 2 accuracy adjustments, and they're permanent. They're 2 little wires. You can cut one or the other, and they take off like half a second or a full second or something. And I used to complain about that mentally, but then it occurred to me, I'm like, it's 10, 12 years, 13 years on, better tech. Maybe they don't need to have all that stuff because the movements are pretty darn accurate. And I have to say, my 7C43 7010 is an extremely accurate watch. The trains are all metal. It's fully jeweled. It's good technology. The case quality is excellent. Seiko's casework has never faltered, and those things were made back far enough that Suwa was concentrating on those quartz watches. Those were the future for them, and they put everything they had into them. It's a perfectly fine watch. You get yourself a 7C golden tuna, especially birth year, birth month. Man, you can't turn that down. Hi. What are you doing?
He's a good boy.
Are you a good boy, Diggy?
Green shoes. These Seikos are a thing. I have had an SKX 009 for 6 years, which I love, but I didn't wear it often because it was running slow around 30 seconds a day. Last year, it started to run perfectly. I wear it a week and it runs at plus or minus 5 seconds.
Yeah, so what I have recently been reminded of is that Seiko has this habit of doing something that watchmakers don't do, which is lubricating the upper and lower pivots of the pallet fork.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know why they do it. It results in lower amplitudes. Maybe it means that I don't know why they do it. I have no idea, because it's not the convention to oil those pivots. The only time I ever do that is if there's a problem. I need to basically drain some power away because the watch is overbanking or something, which is when the balance is being propelled so hard that it goes 360 degrees, and then you get this thing called knocking or banking, where it's going all the way around and hitting the pallet fork from the wrong side outside, and it starts going kunk 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 kunk.
Sorry, I'm distracted because someone is saying, "Mother, please scratch me." No, I can read.
No, I'm trying to remember the second part of what I was going to say. I got distracted by the diggy. Okay, so about 6 years. Here's the thing with modern lubrication. Modern lubrication just outgasses. It goes away. The old lubrication, which was mineral-based, you have solvents, all these, basically these things that'll outgas, and the oil goes from being oil to being shellac, and it glues the whole watch movement together. That's the really old stuff. Modern lubrication, modern since like the early 1960s, the lubrication just goes away. It just outgasses and just goes away. So what might actually be happening is that the lubrication has finally gone away enough on your pallet fork where it's starting to run normally, but that also, if that were true, would mean that the rest of your lubrication is going away, which would track because lubrication is supposed to be every 5 years. Otherwise, and the lubrication will just go away. You're at 6 years. You might have some lubrication on there. You're not going to have a lot. Oh, look at the poor Diggy. What's he doing?
He's trying to get comfortable.
Well, you can go get comfortable. I'm still blabbering about something.
Well, no, I just had a thought.
What's that?
I wonder what the first lubrication for when people started making pocket watches was like.
Whale oil.
Was it? How long?
What do I know?
Oh, I don't know.
They did use whale oil. They used whale oil for all kinds of stuff. One of the craziest uses for whale oil, I had no idea. Prior to World War One, when Colt won the contract to make the M1911, the very first ones, the test ones they showed the government in like literally 1908, 1909, 1910, they were blued. The guns were blued using whale oil. And they're this exquisite, like translucent gun blue with this high polish finish. They're beautiful. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what lubrication they used. I mean, mineral oil started being isolated a long, long time ago. Mm-hmm. And also all the ways to make your own grinding compounds and grinding fluids. So I would say they're probably mineral oil. You know, like painters, they use turpentine for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. Anything having to do with the oil paints and all that stuff, those kinds of solvents. But you know, we all know what happens to oil paints, right? You paint your oil painting. What happens when the solvents go away? What happens when the volatile elements finally and it starts turning into a...
I don't know.
it turns into oil painting. It turns into that. That thing is, I don't even know how old that is. Oh. I cleaned that with a sponge once.
I've never painted with oil paints.
So imagine if that's your lubrication in your watch, all the stuff is gone, you're left with the stuff that sticks together.
Okay.
It's fun.
Okay, now it's pressure testing the case.
Okay.
Intizam NH34 movement shown up on AliExpress last week. Price was about $70. The heck is that?
What, AliExpress?
No, what's his question?
Oh, it's not a question. He's just letting us know.
What's an NH34?
NH34 is the generic version of this GMT movement. So, like, if you need a replacement movement for an SKX, you go and get the NH version of it. Like that crazy chronograph that we had, the limited edition one, the movements that was in that, you can buy wholesale. You can buy them from Star Time or something, and it's called the NH88. And that's how it works.
Oh, okay. From Connor Whitworth. Picked up a 5126-8100 April 68. Like you, blown away by the quality of a seemingly basic Seiko 5. I know that you did a brief video on it way back, but how about a more in-depth look at this great watch? The deep dark blue dial plays beautifully in the light. The contrast of the blue sports text against the dial, the shimmering red seconds hand not painted, the gorgeous C-shaped case, a great watch.
Yeah, 5126s are cool. For those who don't know, in the 60s, Seiko had, well, they had a couple things. They had, two main production houses that were in sort of a friendly competition with each other. And they tended to help each other out and produce similar types of watches. One was Suwa. When Suwa gave us like the 6105 Willard and 6309s and all that stuff, all those big main Seiko watches that most people collect today. And I would say pretty much all of the current design look of Seiko, pretty much all of it comes from Suwa. Daini, they had their own stuff. Both Suwa and Daini had unusual movements that they used in a few things that didn't use the standard Seiko winding stuff, didn't use the Seiko magic lever. They used Swiss-style reduction wheels, and what that does, it makes the movement not as tall, which means you can have more of a dress watch. They're beautiful, beautiful movements. 5126s are beautiful movements, and they're, when serviced, if you really stick to it, you can make them chronometer grade easily. The quality that they had was great. Their dials were beautiful. Excellent casework, of course. They were almost all dress watches and a line of sport divers. They didn't seem to do much else with them, and I don't know why. Beautiful movements, the quality was great.
Let's see. Mihai Pascu. I've heard somewhere that there is one Seiko quartz movement that if you put the wrong battery in it, it will ruin itself. I can't remember what was that movement. Do you know something about it?
Well, the thing is, all these different batteries, they're all different sizes for a reason. The reason being is that you want to have the right amount of electricity. You don't want to put the wrong battery in something. The only watch I'm aware of, and this doesn't mean there's the only watch, I mean, there's basically, I know almost nothing, but I know a lot about a real narrow set of subjects. So there's a lot of information I don't have. But the only thing I know is that the Bulova Accutrons, the tuning fork watches, they used a really like weird proprietary battery with its own like 1.3 volts instead of 1.5 volts or something. And if you put the wrong battery in, it runs at a different speed or something like that. That's the only one I'm aware of. So if you know something more than I do and you find out what model this is, please let me know. I'd love to know because I don't know. And that's about it. Gosh, I'm hungry.
Did you eat lunch?
No, I don't even know what time it is.
4:35.
I look at watches. I never tell the time with them because I just look at them to see how they're doing. Oh, I do have to show you. This is my epilogue. I'm so proud. Willow, our middle child, yesterday she was happy. We had done something together and she wanted to praise me. So she gave me a gold star and put it on my watch for me. And so I'll leave it there. And that's about it, folks. Keep your questions coming. I appreciate them. Mm-hmm. Just to recap, yes, I want to do more restoration videos. I'm going to go back to doing restoration. I'm going to go back to doing restoration videos because I'm going to go back to doing the things the way I used to do back in the day, which made sense to me. So rather than making intake and jobs and all this stuff too complex, I'm going to do what I used to do, which is take jobs when I feel like it, or when I need to. And when they get here, unless the customer says something different, I'm going to start the evaluation and then I'm going to jump into the watch right then and there. So any watch that comes here, I'm going to assume that you want it restored and I'm going to go for it. I will talk to the owner if I find something bad. Other than that, I'm just going to do it. I'm amazed you didn't say it.
What?
Do it.
No, my brain started singing a Spice Girls song. Just do it, do it.
So wait a second. Why hasn't anybody made a parody video of that for Palpatine?
I don't know.
Which song is this from Spice?
Some song by Spice Girls called "Do It." I think it's on the second album.
Yeah, so it needs to be redone for Palpatine. In fact, that sounds like a job for Weird Al. I don't see why he wouldn't. Hell, he could probably...
But that's such an obscure, like, Spice Girls song that I don't even think it was a single.
I don't know. Well, how well do you think we could get... How well do you think Weird Al would get himself to look like Palpatine? That's the thing. And then, you know what? He could, if that one doesn't work, he could change Beat It to Do It. Yes. That would be really awesome. Oh, wait, there was one thing. Oh, somebody was talking about the bridge, confounded bridge.
What about the bridge?
Did we talk about the confounded bridge?
I thought we talked about the...
Oh, that's right, we did. Okay. Where is that confounded bridge? Because we're still looking for it. All right. Bye, folks.
Bye.